You ever get that gut feeling that something small is about to explode into something big? That was me, standing at the end of my driveway staring at the wreckage of what used to be my mailbox. Splintered wood, twisted metal, and mail scattered like confetti in the ditch. I lived in a neighborhood that used to be quiet, until the HOA crowned their own self-appointed sheriff, Milton Craig. Now, Milton wasn't law enforcement, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him. Reflective vest, radio on his belt, clipboard full of fake citations. He strutted around like he was policing Mayberry. When my mailbox got wrecked the first time, I assumed it was an accident, maybe a delivery truck gone off course. I replaced it and moved on, but 2 weeks later, it happened again. That's when I started paying attention. Neighbors whispered that Milton didn't like me because I questioned HOA rules. He'd already given me grief about my lawn and where I parked my truck, but smashing mailboxes? That seemed too petty even for him. By the third time it happened, I was furious. Destroying a mailbox is a federal crime under Title 18, Section 1705, and I was ready to prove it. At the next HOA meeting, Milton showed up with that smug grin and even cracked a joke about building it better next time. That was the clue I needed. His old pickup had a dented bumper with paint scratches suspiciously close to the color of my mailbox. Coincidence? I didn't think so. I set up a wildlife camera, aimed perfectly at the road. A week later, at 6:14 a.m., there he was, Milton's truck easing down the street, swerving just enough to obliterate my mailbox and keep driving like nothing happened. I laughed when I saw the footage. Mr. HOA cop committing a federal crime on camera. At the next meeting, I calmly hit play and showed the board. Karen, the HOA president and Milton's biggest fan, tried to claim the footage was unclear, so I zoomed in on his vanity plate. Silence. Milton sat there, arms crossed like nothing could touch him. That's when I realized the HO wouldn't do a damn thing. So I got creative. According to county code, the post couldn't exceed 4 inches in diameter and had to be breakaway friendly. So I built a steel core post inside decorative brick, hollow enough to meet standards but strong enough to stop a truck. On top, a heavy-duty locking mailbox rated indestructible. Neighbors asked if I was upgrading. I just smiled and said, making sure it lasts this time. When it was done, it looked normal, classy even, but underneath, it was a fortress. A week later, sipping my coffee, I heard it, the brutal crunch of metal slamming brick, tires screeching, a man screaming. I walked out slow, coffee in hand. Milton's truck was crumpled against my mailbox, airbags deployed, steam rising, and Milton clutching his arm and cursing. "What the hell did you do to your mailbox?" he shouted. I raised an eyebrow. "Built it to code. Can't help it if you can't drive." Then came Karen, storming down the street in her robe, yelling about entrapment and unsafe conditions. I nearly laughed. Unsafe? He hit federal property, again. I recorded everything. Wrecked truck, intact mailbox, Milton losing his mind. Police arrived, lights flashing. One officer checked the mailbox and asked if it was legal. I handed over the paperwork I'd printed weeks ago, county code, compliance, everything. He nodded. Karen tried to accuse me of setting a trap, but the other officer shut her down. "Ma'am, the only crime here is destruction of mailboxes, a federal offense." Milton went pale. Federal offense? 3 years in prison, plus restitution, the cop said. Karen's jaw dropped. They cuffed Milton right there while neighbors filmed the whole scene. Tow truck hauled away his busted pickup, and the officer handed me his card. "If the HOA gives you trouble, call me. You did everything by the book." I thanked him, took another sip of coffee, and watched Milton get hauled away. Funny thing about people who abuse power, they always forget the law bites back harder. That day, Milton learned exactly what happens when karma wears a badge.